Bandai. Alright, I'm gonna apologize in advance to everyone that one of the main issues that I have with this particular device is the, well, everything, but not the everything, I'm just shitting you. Well, I'm going to apologize to everyone in advance. One of the main problems I have with this device is it squeaks like hell. I'm going to attempt to scrub the audio for that out, but I highly doubt I'll be successful, so you will probably hear squeaking from this shitty joystick. That being said, let's start with the classic, shall we? Pac-Man. Shadow, Blinky, Speedy, Pinky, Bashful, Inky, Pokey, Clyde. I don't know how Pokey is a description for that, but we'll go with that. But Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. Classic. Simply classic. One button. I have such fond memories of this game. I mean, I have fond memories of several games, but this one in particular, just with, well, I remember spending a lot of time in the computer lab playing a Flash version of this, but how I remember it mostly is my friend's uncle had a Commodore 64 computer hooked up in their basement from years ago. I mean, this was not when that computer was still in use, obviously. It had Pac-Man on cartridge as well as a few other games, but we would sit there and we would play on Commodore 64 with this Atari joystick that was somehow compatible. Not the shitty Commodore 64 joystick, but a shitty broken down Atari joystick, which, of course, that makes all the difference to this story. But we would play that for hours, and honestly, considering what was popular at the time, it's pretty weird to have two people, you know, in their 20s in a basement having way more fun with Pac-Man than they had any right to be. You know, it's like we didn't grow up I grew up with 0 arcades, but we didn't grow up with these in the arcades, but still we enjoyed the crap out of this. That's because it's simple. It's simple, fun, and still challenging. No matter how good or bad you are at it, you can get good at it, obviously. I mean, the entire point of this re-release, I believe, is... re-release, I say, but release of this thing was... It's still, you know, good and popular, and people are so good at it, they need extra challenges. God. Ugh. Like, I don't know, I don't really follow, you know, who's good at what games and stuff. I don't really watch video game footage from people that are good. I watch it from people that are entertaining. So, God, just the simplicity of it all. I probably should not have had that beer for breakfast, but you know, hey, you live, you learn, you record your mistakes for all the world to see. If anyone's watching, which I highly doubt. Come on. See that pathway there, that is the stuff of awesome. You know, there's some awesome in this, but to me that they're coming out on the other side. That's when you know someone's good, when they can just repeatedly lose the ghost doing that. Like I never fully mastered that aspect of this game. Like I remember playing a clone of it on a Game Boy Color. Well, clone I say, but it was more of a themed version of it that was in this really bizarre Game Boy Color game for Austin Powers with Dr. Evil, and it had a bunch of games like this, but there was just one where it was a straight-up Pac-Man clone with different tile sets that I remember playing the crap out of more than the other games, the mini-games on it. I do remember that the whole thing was trying to be like a fake Dr. Evil OS that was, I mean, that was kind of a, not really ambitious, but kind of just cool to see. I mean, but then again, it's like, how cool can it really be with Austin Powers? I don't know, I'm not saying anything against the first two films, but this came out around the time of Goldmember, and Goldmember is a terrible film. I want to say flawed, but it's not flawed, because its flaw is that it's terrible. You know? Like, I actually saw that in theaters, and thinking, oh my god, what an atrocious mess this thing is. So, and I mean, I loved Austin Powers at that point in my life. I grew up watching spy movies and all of that, but, you know, there's a level too far, you know, at least for me. And honestly, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's Pac-Man, and Pac-Man is awesome. Dr. Evil, no longer awesome. I don't even know what the fuck Mike Myers is doing these days. Other than probably the billionth, you know, Shrek sequel. But, you know, I do enjoy this to a frightening degree. Like, if I wasn't recording, I would be completely silent, attempting to ignore the squeakiness of this fucking joystick, and just... Okay, like that, basically. I'd be completely silent and staring the entire time. Just focusing. Focusing like, you know, I'm defusing a fucking bomb. You know, even though it's fucking Pac-Man. One thing that's always kind of creeped me out about Pac-Man, though, for some reason, is his mouth. And just the way it is. You know, if you think the way he dies, I mean, it's like his jaw is literally breaking far in half to him not being existent, which is, you know, that's freaking awesome, but it's also, you know, very disturbing if you think of it in a visual representation kind of way. You know? That is enough of that. One of the cool things about the stick, though, is I just have to hold A and B, and what's great about this is it does go BA and not AB like other things I use, which infinitely helps. Now, let's try some Super Pac-Man. I don't know what makes it super. Well, I do. I played it once before, and I don't know exactly what makes it super. Like, it's just a completely different game. I'm not sure why it's, you know... Oh. See, and you have the... And you grow, and you can eat the walls? I mean, it doesn't look like I'm eating walls, obviously, but that's what's going on. And... maybe it's super because of the extra difficulty of having to, you know, unlock the portions where you can actually collect what would be the pellets or instead apples, for a reason that escapes me. See, I'm trying to get in between there and it's just not listening. Start listening, joystick. Stop squeaking. Start listening, stop squeaking. Stop pissing me off, please. Okay. I don't know if that was a technical hiccup on that, with the whole freezing the screen just there kind of thing, but... or if that actually happened in the arcades. I highly doubt it. I mean, I have no proof, as in I've only played this on a real... well, I've never played even this version on a machine. I've never actually seen it. And again, I don't have arcades at the time. You know, that is a tragedy, you know, not having that kind of stuff where you are, but knowing about it, knowing that it's out there and it's cool and you can't have it, you know. Okay, and you have to collect the power ones. I don't know if you have to do it in the regular one. I've never not collected them, so I wouldn't know. Arg! Gigantic pack! And everybody knows, of course, the infamous story of it was originally Pac-Man and they had to alter it for obvious reasons that if they're not obvious to you, you need a better visual memory or something, I don't know. And that is me losing at Super Pac-Man. You know, actually, this is one I think I'm gonna replay some just to see how far I can get, but it does not even have, for me anyway, even not an iota of the charm of the original for some reason. It's not like a remix, or it's not a... It doesn't feel like it's improved on Pac-Man. It feels like it's just tried to be a different type of Pac-Man. I don't know. I do think what's really weird is that this came out and it does not include Miss Pac-Man. Ms. Pac-Man. I don't know. Just because it's kinda... You'd think, considering they have all these different versions of Pac-Man, that would be on here. And I know there's a baby Pac-Man. I've seen the machine once, like, at a hotel, but that's about it. Oh my god, what the fuck's wrong with the... ghosts? I mean, they're all, like, flat. So flat. I don't. You know... I don't know, I feel like Namco tried to go back to the Pac-Man well so many times, and it just never felt right, you know? If that makes any sense, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel like you're playing Pac-Man with most of those games. Miss Pac-Man obviously being an exception, but, and I mean, that feels like a Pac-Man game, at least. A different one, potentially better, depending on your opinions, but still, you know, solid, great game. Where then you have these, which are, like, odd experiments that they try. I don't know if this was popular. I don't know why it'd be popular. Like, maybe he just got popular on the name? I don't know. I don't even know if this was ever in regular arcades. I'm not a wealth of knowledge on this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not really in my wheelhouse, which is a term I'm not even sure why I'm using. This, oh yeah, in my wheelhouse, like I actually have one. You know, I have some sort of depth of knowledge of something. It's not just, you know, shallow and meaningless. I mean, it's not sure that I don't have any knowledge of something, but you know, I do have knowledge of certain things. Just nothing I think anyone would consider useful. You know, that music just... Namco, you tried too hard. You tried way too hard to make this super. Like, it doesn't feel like an advanced version. It feels like somebody slapped super on because that was the hot word of the week or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I had a couple drinks before recording. Seeing as it's early morning, that's probably not the greatest, you know, sign in the world, but, you know. Hey, what do you expect? Tired. Fuck! Oh, I thought restart. Now, pac&pal. This one I like more, but I'm not sure about the whole PAL aspect of it. It makes me think of the PAL format, you know, for like European or pretty much everywhere else televisions than like actual, hey, you're my pal kind of stuff, which is weird. And again, I have no idea if this came out on anything. I don't research this crap. No, it's not crap, but I don't research it beforehand. I probably should do a little, like I'm gonna try and talk about this, but, you know, fuck it. Fuck it, I'm tired. I'm just so tired. And why is a ghost friends with Pac-Man? I'm not saying you can't, Pac-Man can't have friendly ghosts, but I would like an explanation. Oh, that is cool! So I can freeze ghosts. Oh, I don't know how I never noticed that before. How the fuck did I never notice this? I feel like I have completely missed the point of this game. I missed the point of a lot of things, but that, for some reason... It's like it was in the opening credits. How did I never notice this? I just, you know, just... And then, is the pal supposed to give me the thing? Okay, oh, she brings it back to her home where the ghosts are so they can get it. It's Pac-Man, doesn't need to make logical sense. What am I talking about? If it made logical sense, it'd kind of be boring. You know? Like, I don't even recognize, like, what those items are on the sides. Like, in the middle sides there. No idea. Looks like something you find in an RPG. Not a particularly original one, either. Like, it's a crest or an emblem or a wand, or... I'm gonna call it a wand. I'm going with wand. The emblem wands. I don't know. Alright. So... I don't know. This feels more like a extension of Pac-Man to me than Super Pac-Man does. I don't know why, because you'd think it'd feel less of an extension of it, just because, you know, it's less about the items. I don't know. But I think it's a logical extension of the part of Pac-Man where you rush to get pellets. You know, that aspect of, you know, Pac-Man. You know, it's... Because, I mean, that is a huge aspect, rushing to get pellets. I do wish they had, like, the teleporting sides like every other game, I think. But, you know, can't really complain. I mean, it's still fun. This is probably my favorite non-Pac-Man game on here. Non-Pac-Man game. Yeah. That's a whole lot of sense I'm making. Yeah. Go. Turn up. Damn it. And I don't know who's driving past my window, but hey, I can't control that either. You know, I barely control this. I barely control the thing I'm supposed to have control over in a game. You expect me to control the traffic? I just snored a little bit there too, so... Yeah, this is all sorts of audio gold. like in my mind right now, I'm going, you should really record this, and the real question is whether I will actually do that or not. Come on, come on. Turn. Up. Turn. Curve over. Shoot. Damn. Okay, so the green one can't hurt me at all either. Okay, that's nice to know. So it helps me and doesn't hurt me. Hey! Now, do I go into the next round with the blue? Sonic... It looks like a... Not Sonic the Hedgehog. Like Sonic Waves type thing. God, no. Although, I don't know. Maybe there could be like a Pac-Man, Sonic the Hedgehog game combo. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know, Sonic's been in some weird crap. Which is, you know, a shame. Not in a, you know, oh my god, they've ruined the franchise kind of thing, but, you know, I don't know. Being a ruined franchise is almost its identity at this point. Which is actually kind of cool. In a weird way. It's in a morbid curiosity kind of way. It's like, what's up with Sonic right now? Oh god, what are they doing? You know? Like, it's way more interesting, you know, like the Sonic Dreams collection is way more interesting than anything that Yuji Naka could actually make at this point. I really... Why the fuck am I talking about Sonic in a fucking Pac-Man game video thing? Shit, balls, shit. Just trying to take a drink there. Okay, that was luck. Do not mistake that for skill. That was solid luck and a half. And that squeaking, that will drive you to the depths of madness if you let it. Well, not let it, if you just pay attention. You know, when they're in the orange there, for some reason my brain thinks of this, and you can see their ghost eyes. I think of the not the Snorlax, the Lorax. Although, I would love to see like a Snorlax-Lorax team up. That'd be cool. I don't know. I did not care for the movie. I don't know. It's not like I don't care for stuff like that. It's just I didn't like it. You know, felt kind of rushed in a way, story-wise, and like it was trying to be too much like every other animated kids film ever made, instead of having its own identity. You know. So, I mean, the Lorax always had a very complex identity in his cadence, I would say. Yeah. I don't know. I want to see Bartholomew and the Oobleck, if that ever comes out. So I read the crap out of that. Bartholomew and the Oobleck. Like, that would actually make a really cool, like, stop motion with the ooze. That would be really awesome. Fuck. So that's a bonus stage. As I found with a lot of these, there are a lot of bonus stages. And for some reason, the cars from Racer X, which you will see soon enough, you know, which is actually really, really fun game, and probably the only racing game anyone will ever see me play, as I am atrocious at racing games. Alright. I mean, I am atrocious at them. I mean, if you think you suck at racing games, you're probably not even on par with the suckage I can produce. With, you know? It's like, lean this way, holy shit, I'm backwards. You know? Yeah. My terribleness at racing games are... Ugh. Again, off topic, but that's what I do. I mean, how can you stay on topic for all of this? I mean, people that do that, they have my respect, because that is a level of focus in games that I don't know. I will never attain. I can be playing one of my favorite games on earth and be thinking about a billion other unrelated things that have nothing, fucking nothing to do with the game I'm playing. God. Oh. No. Pac-Man Plus. Okay, so we've had Super Pac-Man, Pac-and-pal, now Pac-Man Plus. Double plus equal good, 1984 reference. If you know what that is, good for you. If you don't, read a book. Well, don't read a book. Read at least a George Orwell book. I mean, if you can't stand, for whatever reason, 1984, I mean, at least, like, Animal Farm or something. I have a certain obsession with dystopian futures, so that's a thing we will probably explore with me keep doing this and finding other games that for some reason dystopian futures just appeal to me in a very bizarre way, not as a concept, because I just love thinking, am I in a dystopian future? Like, you know, we like to, it's like a whole, is this the best of all possible worlds? I would love to see the world that this is the worst of all possible worlds. Like, what that world thinks of our world. Like, what are their standards? Like, oh my god, they still murder? They still have all that kind of crap? Oh my god. It's horrible. It's like, it's us, like, what? It's normal. So, I mean, and then we watch, you know, dystopian stuff and think that it'd be interesting if, you know, you could actually make Pac-Man to some sort of weird-ass dystopian setting, you know. I'm not sure how you would. I mean, I'd have to... That would take some doing. I mean, not without, you know, altering any of the gameplay or something like this. Maybe if you thought of this as some sort of gladiator event. Like, oh my god. Yes, dude. When he eats that... Okay, why didn't he turn? I don't know. So it's like, and he eats the sacred fruits, and he can murder. To appease the gods that have so wrongfully cast a shadow upon this world. In their eyes, they float through the walls. They float. Keep an eye out. I don't know. That's a fiction I would definitely read, you know. Somebody who just turns basic arcade games with no, like, story elements, you know, intrinsically into dystopian, bizarre futures. That would be amazing. I did that once with a game that was on Newgrounds, where I mentioned the creator, you know, like what's going on here, because it was an asteroids game in reverse, where we're an asteroid killing ships, and it was called The Asteroid, and it was about and I wrote this little subplot story of this being, you know, the sentient ships have begun to over-reproduce and populate, and now the asteroid needs to destroy them all. I think he actually posted that under it while it was still up there. I don't think that's still on Newgrounds. I don't, like, at all, but... yeah. My moments in the sun don't last long. Then again, I burn like a motherfucker, so that's probably the best. It's like being Icarus all the time. You know, it's like, oh, you get too close to the sun and you burn. No, you get too close to outside and you burn. That's a different level. You know, people are like, oh, sunburn's not so bad. Sunburn can be crippling if you have it bad enough. Like, it can prevent you from doing anything. You know, and people are like, well, you'll tan after. I've never tanned in my entire life. Like, I don't know how people can sit out there in the sun and then trust that they will tan. Like, what happens if I just imagine somebody who's been tanning for all these years just stops tanning for some reason and their entire life is thrown into chaos. You know, all of a sudden they have to avoid the sun like a fucking vampire like I do. I mean, I wouldn't wish it on most people. Some I would, but, you know, hey. If you don't have people you hate, there's probably something very wrong with you. Now, at least when I do this record at this time, you know, there aren't many motorcycles going. Because, I mean, there's you know, I'm sure that the mic picks up the car noises, but when somebody has a Harley just bolting down the fucking street there, that's when I'm actually annoyed. Like, even if I'm not recording anything, just in life, I am annoyed by this. It's like, seriously, do you need to rev your engine all the time? I don't know. It's not the same thing as Harley riders or bikers or anything like that. As a, you know, subculture or as a, you know, it's not a dismissal of the, yeah, I'm sure it's interesting, I'm sure it's really fun for you to do this, and I'm sure there's like a freedom feeling of some sort, but, you know, just, you know, think of the time you're doing this crap at sometimes, you know? And that somebody might have a window open during the summer for, you know, just simply because it's fucking hot in their place and they live on a, you know, top floor in an apartment building and you pull old people who it just boils their insides if they don't. Yeah. Okay, that got way too specific. But you get my meaning. Okay, so this is... Okay, I'm really, really not seeing enough of a difference here to call this Pac-Man Plus. But I do like that it's, strangely enough, not much of a difference. Like, because, like, the other one was, you know, Super Pac-Man was too different from the original formula to feel like Pac-Man. This feels like Pac-Man. So, it has succeeded. Not my favorite, though. It's just a different version that's... You know, it's like... Yeah, of course I selected wrong. It's like, quit game screen. I pressed B. Of course I did. And now, to the main event of this device, I suppose. Pac-Man 256. I know practically nothing about this, like, story-wise or anything like that. I just know that you beat the thing and it goes to a fucked up screen. Like, I purchased this not caring about the history of the game, and I still don't. You know, if somebody wanted to explain it to me, I'd listen, but I'm not going to go searching for it. You know, it's just fun to... I just want the Pac-Man fun. I don't really care about that kind of stuff, I guess. Okay, and now I have 4 tries and 7 keys. I don't know what the keys are for. I do know that this feels like a later level of Pac-Man, and for some reason the power pellets do jack and shit. Which, honestly I find quite aggravating. Because it's an essential part. Like, is this a game that was based off a glitch? Because I would definitely understand that. Like, in the later levels of Pac-Man, you know, on the arcade, do they stop functioning, or... My god, everything's so fast. You know... I don't know. It's like, if this was normal Pac-Man, me getting that pellet would have just been the end of that thing. Instead, it does nothing. Game over. You don't even get to see the cool shit that whatever this game was created for. Because the game doesn't function like it used to, because of the reason of, hey, the game simply doesn't function like it used to. And I am atrocious at this. And I'm going to keep going until I do this run. I might have to edit stuff out, but I'm going to keep going until I get to the whatever main draw for this level is. Man, this thing is uncomfortable as hell to hold. Like, seriously uncomfortable. It's really cool. You try to go for a pixelated, you know, Pac-Man design. I get it, but it is... when you're holding it in your lap or with your hand or at any angle, it feels, you know, pokey. You know, like, this should be in the shape of the fucking, you know, Pokey Ghost, not, you know, fucking Pac-Man. You know, it would be more representation, a better representation of what you get. You know? Yes, you get Pac-Man, but you also get little dimples in your hand and leg and thigh from holding this thing as it jabs into your side. Alright, come on. Alright. Let's try and do this with some sort of competency. You know? Like, I'm not a complete failure. Then if it wasn't a complete failure, I probably wouldn't, you know, be having stress over it. I don't know. What do successful people feel like when they succeed? Do they feel anything? I mean, I don't know. I don't succeed often, so... If somebody could tell me, that would be amazing. It's just teaching me probably not to drink before I, you know, record, but, you know, that probably was obvious to most people. You know, except the people that purposely do drunken stuff, you know, playthroughs and all that. I'm going silent. Dead air. Ah, yes, dead air. The sign of quality in any LP of any kind. When you have dead air, you know you've arrived. Bus stop where nobody loves it. You know. Well, man, shout out to the people that made the beer I drank, because that was fucking delicious. Perky Porter was the name of the beer. Something Mill was the manufacturer. Look it up online, but it was good. It's like, generally I don't drink beer out of cans, but it was fucking delicious. And they're one of those green beer makers that uses the duck murdering, you know, thing for their 4-packs. Like, seriously, the only thing I can describe that as is a duck murderer, you know? At least, and I don't even care about ducks. But I know that. I know you should cut that shit, because I don't even like birds, for that matter. stuff, fucking murderers and all that. It's not like I still don't buy beer with that. I just, you know, with that on I cut it, you know. Because for some reason that canned version of Murphy's and Guinness is still really good. I mean, I do like the bottle version, but if I can't get it on tap, I mean, that's you know, that's a really good way to get it. You know, compared to some other shit ways I could. I don't know. Where I am, nobody has anything on tap that's worth drinking 99% of the time, so. Which is weird. So you're like, I don't know. It's like how I get pissed off when I see like the new, you know, get macro for your beer, you know, fucking ads. It's like, no, don't go macro, don't go micro. Just go where the beers taste good. I don't care if it's a microbrew or a macro brewery. I don't care. Just don't taste like shit. You know, because honestly, there's so many things out there that just taste awful. It makes me wonder, though, what certain drinks, you know, certain beers used to taste like, if they used to be better before they changed the recipe to mass produce it. Like, was Miller High Life actually delicious at some point? You know, like, was Budweiser delicious at some point? I don't know. It doesn't taste delicious to me, but you know, people would argue with me that it does now, but I don't know. I'm also just not that kind of, I don't really enjoy that type of beer, the light and airy taste, where it's not really where it's just too watery kind of beer. It's just not for me. I mean, I feel like I'm an apologist for, you know, snobbery when it comes to, you know, beer. It's like, I'm sorry, I am such a beer snob. I cannot help it. You know. It's just how I feel. I don't know. I'm an apologist for a lot of things. If you need somebody to apologize for something, I would probably be really, really good at it. No. I just suck so bad at this. What sucks is the same friend I told you about, likes Pac-Man. I had him try this thing out. He got to the glitch screen in like one try. It's like he was. Yeah, I don't know. He's better than me at video games in general, unless it's a platformer. Well, if it's a platformer that isn't, you know, Super Mario World, then I can, you know, beat his ass. But when it comes to, you know, reaction type games that are like not platformers, he will fucking kick my ass every time. Ugh. I have to get to that screen because otherwise this is pointless. You know, I've suffered for nothing. Okay, I haven't suffered. I mean, I still got to play Pac-Man, but I suffered trying to keep this somewhat interesting for no fucking reason. You know, trying to keep commentary going for some reason. Man, those ghosts are fast. I don't know. I feel like I should have like played with this thing more before I decided to make a video, but you know, then I'd lose reactions, I guess. Then again, I'm not sure, you know, how I reacted. You know, maybe my reactions were just fucking boring this time around. I couldn't tell you. I doubt anyone else can either, because nobody's watching these, and I'm perfectly okay with that so far. You know. Hey, shouting into a void is an art form. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm saying to anyone. If somebody tells you you should shut up or something because nobody's listening, don't shut up. Just know you're talking to no one. Makes the conversations you end up having with yourself that much more interesting. You know? People say talking to yourself is a bad sign of things, but I think those are people that have just simply never had good conversations with themselves. Like maybe they're, just really boring people. You know? Okay, going to that side first is... Okay, that is definitely a better decision, apparently. Yeah, decision, like I'm in control of anything on this fucking screen. Hey, like, I don't know. Phlegm buildup. It's always been one of those names. Like, is there anyone actually... Like, I know phlegm from cow and chicken, but is there actually anyone named Phlegm? That person deserves, like, some restitution of some sort. Because you got ripped off, man. Like, I don't like my real name, which I'm not going to say, but I don't think anybody... Most people don't like their, real names. It's a fairly common thing. If your name's, like, Phlegm or something... you got screwed over way harder, and, like, I don't know. I know the U.S. has the, most lax naming laws in the world. That I do know. Especially, I think Kentucky has 0 naming laws, is it? So you could legally name your child anything you want, and they will just simply have to deal. I don't know. That's the type of logic I've never understood. The whole, well, you can't comment on my parenting, and you have no right to tell me how to raise my child. And it's like, yeah, I wonder what the kid is gonna say in 20 years when he's in therapy because you named him after a bodily secretion. It's like being named Sweat. You're really gonna argue with me that parent shouldn't be, looked into a bit? I don't know. I think there are 2 types of people that really have that issue with, that say, you have no right to tell me. It's people that had shitty parents who feel like they have the right to be shitty to their kids, or people that had amazing childhoods and then simply don't know how badly you can screw up a child. I'm totally wrong about everything I have said throughout this entire video. It's a disclaimer. I should probably put at everything. I am no genius of anything. I mean, I'm just a guy with time on his hands, waiting, for something. I couldn't even tell you what I'm waiting for, so, yeah. Well, maybe I'm waiting for the day that something happens, I don't know. I'm waiting, just waiting on you. Kudos if you actually know what song that is. Waiting on you, ooh, just waiting on you. I never understood why the Rentals never did get as big as Weezer. I mean... Because, their stuff is really good. If you're friends with P, then you're friends with me. You're down with P, then you're down with me. Friends of P, friends of P, friends of P. Now in my head I'm wondering, could he even talk about Pac-Man? Pac-Man and friends? And I'm like, no, he's not. That would be cool. That would be an interesting link. You know, to make that not a random thinking outburst from stupid-ass commentary that probably should never have existed to begin with. Like, I don't know if the ghosts are chasing me or going on rails that they're right now. Like, am I just too dumb to realize the pattern that they do every time or something? Which, that's probably the case. I mean, I'm not going to deny that I'm not paying attention to the ghosts as much as I probably should be, or their patterns, or something. If you want great gameplay, go watch something else. This makes me wonder if anyone has actually streamed like long version to get to 256 levels of Pac-Man, like not just the level 256 or something. Because that would be impressive. I wonder how long that would take even for, you know, someone's good at it. I know it's like the anniversary of Pac-Man or something. That's why this thing was made. Just can't remember the numbers. What do I remember? Remember Tommy Two-Tone did the 8675309 song? Yep. So, I remember that. Can't remember anything on the actual thing I'm using right now, but that's never gonna leave my head. You know? Always gonna know that myth about Mikey and the Pop Rocks, but it's really amazing things that you're gonna know forever that will never be useful. You know? Like episodes of shows you will always remember that are nobody's ever gonna quiz you on that kind of crap. Nobody's ever gonna, you know, at gunpoint say, how much do you know about Rocko's Modern Life? Nobody is going to fucking do that. Should they? I couldn't tell you. Maybe. I don't know. That'd at least be an interesting story. Yeah, survived the mugging. How'd you do that? Oh, because I can name all the characters in Rocko's Modern Life. You know, people just stare going, really? Really? That's how you lived through that? Yeah. Talked about Heifer and that episode, you know, where you know, Rocko has his, you know, appendix out, and then at the end, you see Heifer's fat going into the sky. You know? Like, yeah. Shit saved my life. And people said cartoons weren't good for you. You're like, and they were right. Fuck. I don't know how many times I've watched things that were probably horrible for me at any age, let alone as a child. I mean, most people should rather be exposed to psychedelic hallucinogens than the Brothers Grunt. You're gonna make way more sense out of that. Out of, you know, somebody on hallucinogens than fucking that show. Yeah, it was on Liquid Television on MTV. Their brother Harry. It's like, and then that guy made Ed, Edd n Eddy, which was, you know, really fucking good. So, I don't know. It's just experimental form, I guess. God, I suck at this. If most of this video is just gonna be me trying to get to this glitch screen that the whole thing is, you know, why this device was made, pretty much to get to. No. I'm such a piece of shit. I'm dog shit. I am bullshit. I am the bull god. I am the bull god. Oh yeah. That's how we know we're going classy. We're quoting Kid Rock songs. Like, I've actually ever listened to more than One with the devil in the title. Shit, I can't even remember that right now. God. I need... Oh. That was a loss. That one was a loss, guys. No, I'm a loss, guys. Like... I am seriously considering scrapping this whole session and redoing it. Just because I think I put up crap content on this. I don't know, maybe people want crap content, I don't know. You know, if I could predict what people wanted, that, you know, well, I would rule the fucking earth, but... It's an interesting thing, people that can do that, you know, that are, like, always on the edge of what's cool and popular. Like, I always feel like I am either so early on something that no one cares, or so late no one cares. You know? Which, honestly, I'm kind of okay with most of the time, because, you know, then, hey, literally more for me, but, you know, doing it at the right thing at the right time, that would be, well, fucking amazing. Actually have that skill. Is that a skill? I don't know. I should probably look into that before I start to call it a skill. That, you know. I don't know, to me, it's like, you know, the kids that were always cool and were always going to grow up to be fucking cool. You know? They were always going to be cool. No one told them, hey, you gotta do this and this to be cool. They just were cool. Although what cool is probably very, very debatable. You know. And what I found cool, nobody else found cool. Like, I found comic books cool. Everybody else is like, what are you reading those for? And it's like, because they're cool. Now everybody and their mom reads comics, and it's like, seriously? I just had to be born in that last year, right before it would have been acceptable to actually read these things and not get the shit kicked out of me. Great. You know? Yeah, same thing with other stuff. But, you know, if those power pellets did anything, that would be great right about now. Oh. I do never get sick of that loading. See, I keep doing that, expecting that I'm going to be able to eat the... That's the thing. You do things expecting you're going to be able to do it like you do in regular Pac-Man, because it looks like fucking Pac-Man. Like, other than the keys, to me, this looks exactly like regular Pac-Man, so why would I play it any different? You know? Why would I play Pac-Man like I would play Tetris? Well, I'm not sure that's actually possible. I should probably have, you know, thought a bit more before I said that exact line, but hey. I didn't. Here we are. Here I am. Rock you like a hurricane. Rock you like a hurricane. Yes. I always thought it was weird, the connection between the Scorpions and UFO. That was always weird. I mean, you can hear it in the, you know, they're playing, but I don't know. And of course, at the fucking album cover for Virgin Killers, practically, you know, child pornography is always creepy as hell. You know? Yeah. It's like one of those things like, dude, why? Why would you make this? What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, and I'm not for, you know, censoring pretty much most things, but, you know, there is a fucking, when it comes to kids, there's a fucking, you know, glow-in-the-dark glaring line that everybody should, you know, like, fucking pay attention to, you know? You know? Ugh. God, the amount of sucking I am doing right now is just stuff of legend. Fuck you and your 750 high score. This is what I got up in the morning for. Right here. Play this. You know? Feel bad movie of the fucking summer. You know, it was a really good feel-bad movie. It was The Big Short. That was a great film that made you feel 300 times worse walking out than you did walking in. Okay, I don't know why I'm gonna do this, but my brain is telling me to go to the game select screen and reselect this, and maybe magically, for some reason, it'll be easier, or the pac-pals will start actually doing something. I doubt it's the case, but hey. Why not? You know. God, their speed. Fucking snorting white crosses and meth off. Fucking hookers' asses in there. That's what's happening in that little black hole that they live in. You know? Sure, I couldn't turn this into a dystopian narrative. Let's turn it into a fucking grindhouse movie, though. And not one of the Quentin Tarantino grindhouse. I mean a regular grindhouse film, like, you know, 10,000 Maniacs or something. And one when it was the 70s, it was still shocking to see half this crap. And not just, you know, another Tuesday. I really can't believe it if I actually do post this. Like this is not gonna be one of my favorite things I've ever done. I just know it. I don't know. Let's try using this technique, maybe. Pulling up on this. Oh god, that was awful. Don't pull up on the stick, ladies and gentlemen. That'll fucking kill your ears. I'm wearing headphones and that can bleed. It makes my ears bleed. Ugh. Come on. Come on. Come on, stop sucking me. Stop sucking. Where's Brain? What did you do with Brain, Pinky? Did you finally murder him like I thought you always would? Like, seriously, as a kid, I always thought that Pinky would get Brain killed. Somehow. You know, he's that dumb. There was a show that was somehow made for children, but, you know, darker than most adult shows at the time. You know, if you really, really think about it. I think Fox ADHD's, you know, scientifically accurate Pinky and the Brain is one of the funniest things, dark things I have ever seen. Because it is like, yeah, that is what it's about. It is about, you know, animal cruelty. That is the impetus of this show. You know, you You think, oh, they're having little mousy adventures. No, they're fucking locked in a lab and being fucking tormented for fucking lipstick ads, basically. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know what happens in animal testing. I don't know. I grew up in the sticks where most of the people I knew were into animal torture of some sort. I mean, yeah, you want to say, oh no, it's just, you know, part of growing up. But it's like, no, some of these people were into some dark ass shit, like shit that should get you arrested, and the fact that it doesn't is somehow scary. You know, like what people like what young angry teenagers do in the woods to animals could be the stuff of legendary nightmares if actually exposed. You know, people would not sleep because they'd be like, what the fuck? Why did you do this? You know, what purpose was this other than cruelty? I don't know. It's like, you know, that was probably somebody's pet, right? And it's like, yeah, so? Basically what I'm saying is, don't go into the woods if you see teenagers. You know? Just don't. Because whatever they're up to is going to leave you scarred. You know? Either you're going to see some partying or something that goes horribly, horribly wrong, or you're going to see some animal cruelty that is right up there with fucking hostile. You're like, what the fuck, man? It's like, yeah, I poked, you know, dead animals with sticks. I waited till the animals were dead, though, man. That's different. You know, that's discovering the insides, you know, of a dead animal. It doesn't feel anything anymore. It is a corpse. It can't be hurt by what I am doing physically. It's people that did shit to live things, that's the people you gotta worry about. You know? I don't know, that's like one of the warning signs of a serial killer, but it's like, people are like, well, why didn't you notice or report this? It's like, that's because it's way more common than you'd ever want to believe. You know? You know, I have heard and seen shit when it comes to, like, animal, you know, horror stories. It's just like, why? What did, you know, you're like, what did that poor creature do to you? It's like, no, what are your parents doing to you to make you think this is how you treat anything? That's how I look at it, but, you know, I don't think everything's parents' fault. I mean, obviously, there's some truth to genetics, you know, in being, you know, inconquerable by certain people, but yeah. That's what this says. Pac-Man 256 and animal cruelty PSA. That's what I have created, sir. That's what I'm gonna have to tell the big nice men in their young white coats or whatever. They're coming to take me away. They're coming to take me away. Ho ho hee hee ha ha. It's funny for your life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be nice to them. Nice young men in their nice white coats. God. That's another thing I listened to in high school that everybody thought was the weirdest shit ever, is Dr. Demento. Like, I actually made, like, a little tinfoil, like, I don't know, thing to make it so I could actually pick it up, because out there in the States you could barely pick up any radio stations decently, and I would actually sit there and wait until all the popular shit on Sunday was over with on the radio and listen to Dr. Demento. And it's like, shit, it's like, the adults would find it like, are you from the 70s and you just got transported here or something? And it's like, how the fuck do you know the song Dead Skunk in the Middle of the Road? I mean, you're fucking 17 and you shouldn't fucking know that. And it's like, no, I know that song. I know all that shit. Flo and Eddie, Cheech and Chong. Bring out the beer. The doctor's here. I've got screws, king of the Zulus. Let's all get demented. D-M-N-T-N-T-O, Dr. Demento. Now, it's because of Dr. Demento I actually bought Spike Jones compilation, which is actually really amazing. You know, to think that anyone can actually orchestrate that kind of stuff is fascinating to me, because, I mean, in your head, you have to have those Looney Tunes and stuff sounds in your head before you even begin to conduct it. You know, and that is just amazing, at least to me, because it's like, you know, these things that seem to have no pattern or just such an erratic one that you keep track of it, you know, and you're, you know, doing this using fucking, you know, you're waving a stick and somehow making this, you know, menagerie of insanity. That's a fucking skill and a half, if you ask me. That sounds like an attribute point, you know? See, I'm using video game terms to somehow tie this back to me playing some sort of game instead of turning this into a rambling podcast of insanity, which is obviously what it's become. But I cannot, for the life of me, do this. You know what? You know what, I'm gonna give this one more shot, and if I don't get it, fuck it, and fuck you, and look up the level later. That's how this is going. I'm gonna give this one more shot. I mean, because I'm not far off. I mean, I'm so close. But I am just so shit at this. With this thing, at least. Oh. Like, if I felt like I had more control over the fucking keyboard, I complain about that a lot, but to me, that does feel more natural. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that there's people out there that can't fucking use a keyboard to play games. It sounds horrible of a thing not be able to do. You know? But it's like, ugh. Yeah, this is a definitely telling last hurrah. You know? Oh yeah, look, I've so learned a lot, you know, I'm not just randomly doing shit. The worst part is, you know, I can go and look through the footage and then study exactly how bad I am. Alright, that is enough. I give Uncle, there's bonus crap that you can do that I will not be doing. Goodbye.